You've made these steps towards legalizing marijuana. You're pushing that forward next year, and it may be in place by the summer of 2018. One thing I've noticed in all these, is the government going to make money out of this? Is this going to be something you tax? It's the one bit which isn't very clear to me.
Well, it's not very clear to you because we haven't focused on that. The reason we are choosing to legalize and control marijuana is because the current system is not protecting our kids. It's right now easier for an underage Canadian, a teenager, to buy a joint than it is for them to get their hands on a bottle of beer. And whatever you may think about the relative harms of marijuana versus alcohol or cigarettes, marijuana is not good for the developing brain. It's not good for our kids. We need to do a better job of making it more difficult, at least as difficult as it is to access alcohol, as it can be. And that's the main part of our legalization strategy, along with recognizing that criminal organizations and street gangs are making billions of dollars every single year off of the sale of marijuana, which they then funnel into other criminal activities. So you put those two things together, you realize we have a system that isn't working. Can we change it? Can we make it more difficult for young people to access marijuana? Can we put the sale of marijuana through at least a regulated and overseen frame that the government will put forward to make sure there's quality control, make sure that the profits aren't going into illicit corners, and yes, draw on tax revenues that can then be put into public education campaigns, better advocacy, better work in mental health and addiction services for all drugs. Those are the kinds of things that we see as a logical step forward. So the lens we're taking, yes, there will most likely be plenty of economic activity and profits.
Do you have any idea about what sort of industry may emerge? What seems to be happening in America is maybe a consolidation around a few big companies might happen.
I think, and again, we're at the very beginning of some thoughtful conversations with the provinces, something that, quite frankly, the world is looking at to see what Canada does and how we do it. But I think, if you look to alcohol as a model, you have big global players in beer in Canada, but you also have a lot of microbreweries, and there's that capacity and consumer choice. If you want to choose what you want, there are options out there. And I think ensuring that there is a range of business opportunities for small local producers and larger producers is not an unreasonable vision for what that industry could look like. But again, we're looking at it from a public health and safety standpoint, as opposed to some other places that legalized it on a commercial basis. That will come later. We're going to get public health and safety right first.
And on the public health thing, you are satisfied that despite all this evidence that there are now stronger, more industrial strengths of marijuana out there, that is something that will be better under a legal system than it will under an illegal one?
Well, I think when you don't know what's in what you're buying from a pusher in a stairwell or a criminal organization, I think with Health Canada properly regulating everything from THC levels to use of pesticides, people will have a lot better idea of what it is they're choosing to buy if they make that choice.